you ever find it funny how, I don't know, I've always been like surprised, especially before, because I just didn't think anybody remembered me ever. It's weird. I could go in a store and they'd be like, oh hey, I'd be like, how do you know me? And be like, well, you come in here all the time. Like, oh, huh, weird. And then, you know, eventually I started realizing that people do remember you sometimes. Anyways, I was just driving down the road and I met this gentleman that I see in here all the time, and we only ever have, like, you know, a few words because we're both in here probably for solitude. Not just solitude, but I don't think he wants to come in here and chat with me anyways. So I just met him and he said, oh my god, what a beautiful day. Like, just totally different face, like, because it's sunny out and spring's definitely in the air. So he said, how is it back there? I said, well, it's not too bad. I said, at the very back I had to put it in 4-wheel drive, but other than that I got through no problem. And he said, yeah, but you're brave. And I was like, I'm brave? And he's like, yeah. He said, I see you go back there all the time. He said, I used to see you going back there all the time in a Cadillac. I said, oh yeah, I did have a Cadillac. And he said, did you have 4-wheel drive on the Cadillac? I said, no, I never have 4-wheel drive on the Cadillac, but I was stuck in here like 7 times one winter because my Cadillac just couldn't quite pull through. I said, but you know, it always turned out good because somebody would always give me a hand and turn it into another adventure, right? Anyways, it's just funny how some people in your life are just like, they're just in little places. That they're not, you know, they're not in your life, but they keep showing up in your life. And then it's just funny to me that he would say something like that to me. Like, most people don't be like, oh, things like that. Sorry, it's funny. Like, say you're brave. Like, what an amazing compliment. Just casually passed me by. It's not a stranger, but no, I don't know his name, but life is so funny. Life is so funny. Yeah, it's a funny little family in here, actually, because there's quite a few of them that you end up having a conversation with, or maybe a couple conversations with, and you realize that that person is somehow relevant in your life. There's something about them. Sometimes you think you don't have anybody, but you do. People have been popping in and checking on me this last little while because I lost my job, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know they cared. Wow, I didn't know they cared. It's so often, like, just like strangers or people that you don't know are really part of your life. You're like, oh, they're just an NPC, you know? They're here and they're there and whatever, but they're there. Who knows? Maybe they're there for a bigger reason. Maybe someday that guy will come back and find me slip through a hole and he'll pull me out or something. Who knows? Just seeing the change on his face, though, with the spring, it was so funny because he just does not, he looks very, I've been through hell and back. That's the look he usually has. So he's like, oh my god, look at my son. Talking to me, you're so brave. I like that people remember my Cadillac, though. She's a little beaut. Love that girl. I wanted to derby her before she went off with her on her next journey, but I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to do that. I thought it'd be a nice send-off for her. A little crunch, crunch, munch, munch, smash, smash, bash, bash. It's not all about demolition, Jamie, okay? You can't just have demolition every day. Sometimes you have to just not demolish things. This is like a little comfort thing for me, I think. It's so funny too, whenever like we get on the road, like in the truck at the early mornings, the path you take, you know, sort of industrial areas or whatever, you see all the people with their hoods up. I'm like, yeah, that's my drive there. They're all like driving like this. Am I up? I mean, they're happy to be up and working, but they just want to complain about it for a little bit, you know? We're all like that. What did dispatch say about that again? I know there were some special instructions. That's what notebooks are for. Handy dandy notebook. Keep a girl organized. Yeah, for certain periods, and I'm like, I don't need a notebook. Why am I even writing this notebook? And then things go chaos. And I'm like, oh yeah, I really need a notebook. It's funny too, the people that try to read my notebook. I actually had a guy a couple times take my notebook. Like, he thought that there were some like special recipes and secrets in there or something that he thought he could, you know, get the secret recipe to Jamie. Anyways, I was like, where'd my notebook go? Looking all over the truck. I don't know. He leaves the truck and I go and look in his duffel bag, and it's in the bottom of his duffel bag. What do you think you're gonna find in there? I mean, some poetry, definitely poetry. Some amount of jobs that I'd always be writing poetry and silly little things. Yeah, maybe some contact numbers. What are you gonna do? Call them? How do you know Jimmy Briggs? What is she to you? And a lot of my notes are encrypted because, you know, that's how I roll. I've always been a big fan of putting little secret things in my notes so that other people can't read them. Actually, when I was a kid, me and my neighbor Scotty, we would make like treasure maps and stuff, and, you know, like write things like in code. So like there'd be a legend, and then you'd write the things out with little pictures, and then like we used to do stuff like that all the time. Like, 'cause we had a lot of spare time on our hands back then. We were really into that sort of stuff. We didn't have video games, and I didn't in my house anyway. So yeah, that was like a little video game for us, like a little encrypted story. Anyways, that got way off topic because, yeah, I was saying about Looney Tunes. They're still in my notebook.